Olivia Caldwell Last updated 5 o'clock the 26th of May 2018. Joseph Johnson, Stuff Black Ferns Women's Rugby World Cup winning team members visit to the Christchurch women's prison. Joseph Johnson, Stuff Black Fern Renee Wickliffe says rugby led her away from a life of drugs and alcohol. Joseph Johnson, Stuff Chelsea Alley and Renee Wickliffe of the Black Ferns talked to Christchurch women's prison inmates on Friday afternoon about rugby, motivation and working towards a goal. Joseph Johnson, Stuff Chelsea Alley of the Black Ferns shares a moment with one of the Christchurch women's inmates and the Women's Rugby World Cup. Rugby Black Ferns speedster Renee Wickliffe says rugby led her away from a destructive pathway. And now she is inspiring prison inmates to do the same. Coming from an upbringing where drugs and alcohol were the norm in her family and wider social circle, Wickliffe began dabbling in both at a young age. It wasn't until an encouraging teacher at high school tapped her on the shoulder and introduced her to sport that the teenager realized she had potential. Read more, young Black Fern over the moon about payday World Cup prop a little lost NCR confirmed 28 Black Ferns contracts. The 30-year-old is now a World Cup winning Black Fern, engaged to her soulmate and teammate, Portia Woodman, and a role model for youth who could be battling in their own journeys. I was young, I was on a pathway to drugs and alcohol and that sort of stuff, but I always knew in the back of my mind that I wanted to become something. It was just about how I do it. My mom wasn't really supportive in what I wanted to be. I didn't even know what I wanted to be, I just knew I wanted to be something better than what I was doing. As a teenager she took it upon herself to leave home in times of desperation and join a nearby Christian group who welcomed her. Wickliffe owes her faith and her sporting ability her success, she says. Her advice to any young girl or women struggling at home, school or their identity is to turn to something you can relate to and give it everything. It's not all about just sport, it's whatever you're passionate about, if you're good at art or you're good at tarot. For me it's about just giving it a go because there are a lot of opportunities out there. It's about just you yourself and going there and just doing it. Wickliffe's story inspired at least one young rugby hopeful on Friday, a Christchurch prison inmate jailed for several theft offences. The inmate, who cannot be named, is a self-confessed tomboy who grew up playing rugby with the boys. She is in her early 20s and after hearing she could wear the black jersey after serving her sentence, she is motivated to make something of herself. Add feedback. This is Ali. Really no, either Maori or rugby. I never really thought about what my future would be, I just thought I would play rugby. I never really tried anything else and I didn't really do any good in school. From a small town originally, she has been in prison twice for the same offense. A possible career in rugby like her idols in the Black Ferns has inspired her to get out of prison and hit the training field. It's been my dream. Rugby is what I love and it is what I do. When Wickliffe and teammate Chelsea Alley arrived at the prison gym on Friday afternoon, the young inmate said she was anxious, greeting them with a practiced haka. Listening to their stories. It's cool, it's exciting and it's motivating, Wickliffe said. Even now rugby provides her with a huge part of her inner happiness and being on a new paid rugby contract is just a bonus, not a focus. I had to grow up really fast, I had to try and help my brothers, it didn't work, as long as I was doing the right thing, and now I am able to represent my family and my brothers, the Black Ferns, New Zealand by playing rugby, and it is very special for me to be able to do that. Many prisons in New Zealand employ full-time, physical education coaches to keep the prisoners' minds active and their mental health in check. Christchurch Prison's full-time personal trainer Renee Wickliffe says the link between the women's physical and mental well-being was significant and it gave them a buzz to get active. Women in NZ prison. 809 women in prison nationwide, 98% are mothers. 55% Maori, 31% Pakeha, 7% Pacific Island, 7% other, 2/3 have suffered family violence, rape or sexual assault, 50% have post-traumatic stress disorder, 3/4 have diagnosed mental health problems. Stuff.